Welcome to this episode of Mystery Cast right here on Tales of Earth, formerly known as the Conspiracy Cast. You can watch this live every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/comicstorian. We have a lot to go through, so just hang in there.
This is going to be one heck of an intro.
You can support us by following us on Twitch. You can also subscribe to the... Stop laughing at me. I need like tunnel vision when I do this.
I haven't even said anything.
I'm laughing for the both of us.
Subscribe to Tales of Earth. You can also go to patreon.com/comicstorian, where you can get early access to this show as well as other shows. And if you want to support us even more, you can buy Tales of Earth merch through the link below. This is eligible monster, but you get the idea. So with us today, we have my home slice, as they often
the home
call
slizzle.
him. My home sizzle, London Hammer.
The London Hammer, a.k.a. Dante Producer.
Yep, he's also known by that moniker. So, and my home biscuit. No,
It's weird.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, home something.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, my home Andy.
That implies you have a on the road Andy.
He's also got a work Andy, vacation Andy.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
You don't remember me cloning you?
It's actually just pictures of you with different hats on.
And glasses. Sometimes.
And glasses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Certain ones.
Yeah.
That's the home
And
one.
the hat just says like home or road or.
Well, that way you know.
Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at FryAmTheAndy, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I don't like to branch out.
I am Gary, just Gary. You can find me on Twitter at Film Circuit. I've been off for like 2 weeks, so I feel a little rusty. And Instagram at Northward Films. You know where I don't want to go? Where I really don't want to go.
Where do you not want to go?
I was trying to come up with a funny answer. I don't know, Gary. Where do you not
don't
want to
go? Although I kind of do. To the
Do you want to go down a country road?
Take Me Home?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song. I love that song. The
It
20
was
most
a stretch.
terrifying places on Earth.
The 20.
That is what we were talking about today. I wanted to kind of shake things up a little bit, talk about something that's just creepy, you know. There's
It's
no mystery there.
a number.
Or there might be.
Another name of this list is the 20 places Dan will never go. All right.
I don't know, Dan. I think you
Number
might,
8 might surprise
might
you.
surprise you.
It's my house.
Was that the Wreck-It Ralph line? Breaks the internet. Ralph breaks the internet.
I don't think so.
That's probably just a common joke.
Yeah,
It's BuzzFeed.
It's
BuzzFeed,
it's like whenever there's a
Number 8 might
clickbait,
surprise you.
it's like
Yeah.
top 10, blah 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 blah. Number whatever might surprise you.
Might surprise you.
Might
Yeah.
It never
or
does.
will.
never does.
I mean, it changes
Never
some-
does.
Be like, yeah, I saw this on another list. Great.
Unless it's just a nude photo. Then that would surprise
That would
me.
surprise me. Yeah.
It's like top 10 clothed photos. And then 8 was a nude photo. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what?
So this list
Surprise.
is relatively new, so it is fairly up to date. September 4th, 2019. This comes from Condé Nast Traveler. An eternally burning pit in the middle of Turkmenistan, a church near Prague made out of human bones, a tiny village in Japan where life-size dolls outnumber the residents nearly 10 to 1. We may live in a big, beautiful world, but our planet certainly has its fair share of terrifying and mysterious places. Places just waiting for the next morbidly inclined traveler to come visit. From health-themed amusement parks to islands covered with snakes, these are some of the scariest places in the world. Have you started packing your bags yet, Dan?
No.
We're going to Snake Island.
Snake
In fact, I actually had one packed. I'm unpacking.
I'm
it.
I'm unpacking.
It's my
it as
go
we
bag,
speak.
but
You know, I think
I'm
would
not
be
going anywhere.
more terrifying than Snake Island? Mosquito Island.
That would be pretty. I don't know about terrifying. It would be awful.
I would go with
really
Mongoose
annoying.
Island because
Mongoose
they
Island?
are the counter to snakes.
Sure.
Spider Island.
Sometimes
So
Mongoose
Australia.
Australia.
That's true, yeah.
That's true. Basically, insert creepy creature here, island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Island. Monster
Benny
Island.
Island.
Monster
oh
Island.
God.
Monster
You
Island.
can hear it from here.
I don't.
The
Yeah, I
whole
would not
island,
want to go to Benny Island. It's just a small island with Benny standing on it.
I just picture the American. I just picked the picture of the American Dad where Stan kept taking his mom's boyfriends to this island, and it's just an
never saw that
island
one.
of all the ex-boyfriends.
No.
Someone in chat.
Are they at least happy
Someone
there?
No.
Oh, they're not.
They fly. They go by, and she's like on a boat or something, and everyone's like, Betty, no.
All right, number 1 is the North Yungas Road in Bolivia. The path from La Paz to Curico, Bolivia, is a treacherous one. The North Yungas Road weaves precariously through... I'm going to zoom in on this. My eyes are very blurry right now. Weaves precariously through the Amazon rainforest at a height of more than 15,000 feet. When you consider that frightening elevation, not to mention the 12-foot wide single lane, lack of guardrails, and limited visibility due to rain and fog, it's easy to see why this 50-mile stretch of highway has earned the nickname the Death Road. While the North Yungas Road used to see some 200 to 300 annual deaths, it has now become more of a destination for adventurous mountain bikers than a vehicular thoroughfare.
I could see that. Yeah,
It's a very narrow road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could see that being a motorcyclist, an adrenaline junkie motorcyclist, Seven. I should clarify that because I would never go on my motorcycle.
Especially when they had like rain and fog and possibly people coming the other way. I mean,
no guardrails.
No guardrails.
I was gonna say I would be as close to the actual mountain as I could get. I don't give a crap.
And it's like
if
I'm
it's
just
on the
gonna
wrong side
go over the mountain.
Yeah, like I don't even care.
I would just dig stakes into the ground every step.
It's like flat ground, but you're like staking and tying ropes off.
He's got cleats.
It's like Gary, you've walked on a
Sherpa
sidewalk,
with
right?
Before.
Yeah. Have you ever walked on a sidewalk without just stumbling into traffic?
Falling over.
No. No, I haven't.
Whenever I walk, I tend to worry about going,
disturbing as hell.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to cast this to the screen so you guys can see what we're looking at as well. Because these are some pretty creepy images.
Fingers crossed it works.
It'll work.
That's
just
not
has to
it.
disconnect
That's
and then
not
has to
one of
reconnect.
Okay, now this is what's creepy as hell.
All right.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's not people. Those are
Yeah, I don't like
life-size
that.
dolls. And you guessed it, Japan.
The damn Japanese, man.
They like
You
their
do a good
dolls.
meanwhile voice. Can you say meanwhile in Japan?
Meanwhile, in Japan.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we got going in Nagoro, Japan. Nagoro is a tiny Japanese village with one very notable feature: a life-size doll population that outnumbers the human population nearly 10 to 1.
Wait,
Why?
hold on.
If anybody from Nagoro, Japan is
Yep.
currently watching,
I'm going to zoom in on this here.
why?
I
That's all I got, honestly. That's my question.
I mean, they're...
Hold on. The fact that it just
Cute.
straight up says human population, not Japan population, right? But human population.
of the village.
Of the village.
Of the village
Oh,
itself.
okay.
Yeah,
I must have
of
missed
the
that
village.
part because I'm like, how would you even make that many or fit them on a single plate?
That's what. Yeah,
How
yeah.
many life-size dolls do you have?
Because let's be honest,
How many
if
people are on
70
Earth?
billion.
Imagine going into a thing and it's nothing but like billions of dolls.
And they make 10 for every child born.
Good Lord.
That would be creepy.
Yeah.
So there's like 10 Dan dolls.
Why? I don't like the one Dan we
Yeah,
got.
me
I don't
either.
want 10
Jesus.
dolls of him.
my
The
God.
toy residents are the work of local Tsukimi Ayano, who began making doll replicas of her neighbors. Oh, so these are actual replicas of people.
Wait.
After they died or moved away.
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's voodoo.
The eerie doppelgangers can be seen in various positions across the town. Fishermen sitting on the riverbank, students filling entire classrooms, so the kids can't go to class, I guess. Elderly couples resting
Well, they all
on
left.
benches.
So she had to fill the
Yeah.
seats.
Elderly couples resting on benches outside of buildings. There are now around 350 dolls and 27 breathing humans. The youngest, I'm glad that they're breathing. Good detail. The youngest is over the age of 50.
Well, that's why they had to clarify, is because they're in the range of no longer
so
breathing.
this is
And making 10 dolls.
This is an older population. The youngest person in the village is over 50.
Imagine
ones
if
that
it wasn't
can't
though.
afford
Let's set a scene here real quick for you. So imagine it's a normal
paint a
village.
picture.
Let me paint a word picture for you. So imagine it's a normal village, right? Kids and stuff in it. They've filled a classroom with dolls because that's not creepy as shit.
Life-size dolls.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's imagine you're the new teacher at Nagoro Village. And you come
Yes.
wandering into the wrong classroom one day, and there's just a classroom full of creepy ass dolls.
They're like, man, I needed the one with the 50-year-olds.
I can imagine that playing out like this. Teacher comes in.
Sure.
They've been hired to teach in their one classroom.
Sure, yeah.
And they're like,
And it's
she's
all
like,
dolls.
excuse me, it's all. And then there's
Actually,
a
this
gun
actually sounds like a
pointed
good
at-
horror
Oh my
movie.
gosh,
Yeah,
yeah. And then one of the dolls starts talking. And
would
every
be creepy,
time
yeah.
she turns to draw right on the chalkboard,
More
she
dolls.
turns around and the dolls have like changed positions.
Or they're actually watching her.
This does sound like a good
All right,
horror movie.
I just
It
actually.
sounds like a
bit of
Japanese horror movie.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah. All right, so that's Doll Village.
It's just so weird.
That
to me.
is-
you know
it
what
is
that
weird.
reminds me
It
of?
is
That
weird.
reminds me of I want to say I Am Legend, where he like puts mannequins
Yeah,
in
he's, like,
locations
talking to 'em 'cause he's go
there's no
crazy.
one else.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
But there's people that still live there.
Are we sure these people died or moved away and she didn't just make them into dolls?
That's also very creepy.
Yeah.
All
Also in the
I
movie.
Want, I want this
Yeah.
movie so I can not go see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Somebody get on that.
So, Dan, you're telling me you don't want to go to Nagoro, Japan?
No.
All right. So join us next time when we take Dan to Nagoro, Japan.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, if you took me there, I'd go, oh no, one bad day, but I'm in Japan.
That's true.
You guys told me this is Disneyland, Japan. No. Or Disneyland, Tokyo.
I would
whatever it
actually
is.
call ahead and see if
Yeah.
that lady could make a doll of Dan.
First thing you see is when you
To
like
really
take
make-
off the
10 of
blindfold.
them.
Really
Yeah.
creep him out. Yeah.
Oh, man. 10 of them.
That would.
That'd be pretty creepy.
And then you guys start talking to it and pretending that I'm the doll. Oh my God. Mind F right there.
What's next, Gary?
All right. Number 3, Hill of Crosses, someplace Lithuania. No,
sound it out.
Silau.
Celiae.
Celiae. Celiae.
Celiae is in your intestines. That's
Cilia.
That's cilia, I know. Okay.
This just looks like from a vampire movie.
It does. Or like an anime or something.
Yeah. Like
Actually, I think I have
Empire
seen
Hunter
this.
D.
I have seen this in like an anime or something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you replace them with swords, that's Fate Stay Night
Or
Unlimited Blade Works.
Keyblades or whatever.
Keyblades.
People have been placing crosses on this hill in northern Lithuania since the 14th century. In the beginning, throughout the medieval period, the crosses expressed a desire for Lithuanian independence. Then, after a peasant uprising in 1831, as they usually are, people began adding to the site in remembrance of dead rebels. The hill became a place of defiance once again during Soviet occupation from 1944 to 1991. The hill and crosses were bulldozed by Soviets 3 times.
Wow.
The locals keep rebuilding it. Or do they? There are now more than 100,000 crosses crowded there, clashing together in the breeze like eerie wind chimes. I can imagine it would make some pretty strange sounds in the wind.
Beside the sounds, that I wouldn't really consider that like a scary place. More of a memorial site. kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like going to a graveyard and going, why are there so many graves here? It's like, well, that's where they go. And this is
Yeah.
apparently the place
That's
that,
pretty
what
damn creepy.
the hell?
Yeah. And that's actually in
Yeah.
the forest on the way to Nagoro Village.
It's my
Yeah,
backyard.
yeah, that's their.
I mean,
Yeah, sorry about that. I keep hanging up
That's
dolls
Sorry,
in your
my
background.
bad.
That's
That's
their
where I
gas
store
station.
them.
Island of the Dolls.
How many islands have dolls? Like, what the hell?
Chocomilico? I mean, how would you spell it? I don't know. Mexico.
Somewhere in
Do not
Mexico.
speak Spanish. I apologize. Despite its history and status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this place in Mexico is primarily known for its Isla de la Muñecas,
Sure.
or Island of the Dolls. Hidden among the burrows, many canals, the tiny island is famous for the hundreds of dolls and doll parts hanging from trees and scattered among the grass.
Let's be honest, the parts is the creepy part.
It is creepy. Although it looks more like a horror movie set than anything else, the Chinampa, akin to an artificial island, used to be the actual, used to be the actual residence of a now deceased man named Julian Santa Barrera. After finding a dead girl's body in a nearby canal, Barrera collected and displayed the toys in the hopes of warding off evil spirits. Daring souls can hire their own boat, try to convince the driver to pay it a visit, and view it safely from the water. So you can't even not really go there.
Oh, well, why?
Well,
Why
good.
would
You'd
you
probably
want to?
die.
Yeah.
You're probably getting nailed to the trees by these baby dolls.
Even like the evil spirits, like I'm not going there. That's creepy as shit.
It's creepy as hell.
It worked.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, creepy, dude.
He's like, you know what? I'm going to go to the island of adult dolls.
Oh, I don't think you want to go there either.
We should start our own
Yeah.
island. I don't know what.
Yeah.
We'll come up with some ideas of
We're
what our
just
island
going
can be.
to, you know what? We're going to make an island of nothing but bread stapled to trees.
Interesting. I feel like it would
Bread.
either get
Yes.
eaten, then it just turned into an
Soggy, just
island of
drip
birds.
off. Yeah.
But let's be honest, it would be so much of a what the hell?
That is true.
That
Yeah,
it
yeah.
would throw people off.
Island of empty bags of Skittles.
I'm pretty sure there's like a floating one of those in the ocean.
That is
right
true,
now.
actually. Keep going, Gary.
Yeah, probably. Taylor Glacier, Antarctica. It may look like a geological crime scene, but the 5-story crimson waterfall of Taylor Glacier, aka Blood Falls, is a completely natural wonder. The phenomenon can be traced back about 5 million years when the glacier sealed off a microbe-rich lake beneath it. Isolated from light and oxygen, the water became more and more concentrated, both in terms of salt and iron content. The water's salinity level, about 3 times saltier than the ocean, keeps it from freezing, while the iron provides the color. It then seeps out through a fissure in the glacier, and we get to witness the gory display.
The blood
I feel like these are creepy
That's pretty
places,
creepy.
less scary.
I think
Because
it's scary.
I was expecting like
These are kind
like
of
the
creepy.
most haunted places.
Oh, we can
and
look
stuff
that
like
up.
that.
We can look that up if we have time. Absolutely.
We have time.
We will have time. Centralia, Pennsylvania. From the late 1800s to the 1960s, Centralia was a quaint but bustling town in Pennsylvania, thanks to its prosperous coal mines. I almost said preposterous.
It's preposterous coal mines. Who mines for coal?
However, just get it at the store.
The black lung, Pa.
However, when a mine mysteriously caught fire in 1962, the flames began to spread underground via the interconnecting tunnels. Although the citizens were aware of the situation, they weren't truly troubled until 2 isolated incidents some years later. A gas station owner reporting abnormally high gasoline temperatures in his underground tanks. Ooh.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's like, my gasoline is getting really hot. Bye. Gotta go. 1979, and a young boy nearly falling into a 150-foot deep sinkhole in his backyard in 1981.
It's like, I can totally jump this guy.
Totally how Blaster Master started.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Since those disturbing occurrences, the town's population decreased sharply. I can imagine. As of 2014, the date of the most recent census, only 7 residents, remain. Although Centralia seems like a complete ghost town upon visiting. If you ever find yourself in the deserted city, you'll find many torn down buildings, crumbled sidewalks, and the cracked graffiti-filled Route 61. And just in case you forgot why the town is deserted, you can occasionally see smoke billowing out from the subterranean fires. Okay, they're still burning.
Yes.
Which scientists estimate will continue to burn for at least another 250 years.
There's a couple places like that. I think there's still like a underground fire that's been lit for the past couple hundred years.
It's in the Middle East, isn't it?
I want to
Yeah,
say
I
somewhere
think so.
over there.
Yeah. Somewhere, I don't know where.
I have a
it's over there.
feeling
Yeah.
that some of these cities had like a
That's the
pact
smoke.
where everyone was like, okay, let's put $20 in. Last person to leave gets all the money. And these 27 people are like, I really need this $60.
Yep.
I
Many people.
I believe this was used for like the premise of the Silent Hill movie.
Was it?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just a very disturbing notion for me that the earth beneath you is on fire.
Sure.
Where you live.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure the real estate costs are really low.
I would assume.
So you could buy.
I got a really nice loan.
Buy really cheap in
this.
about 250 years.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah,
constant
sell it.
fire sale.
Yeah. Sell it.
No?
Yeah.
It was nicely done. Yeah.
I can't even imagine living in a place where the ground beneath you is on fire all the time.
Where it's literally hell beneath your feet.
Yes.
They're like, hey, so
Yeah. No
you
heating
can
bill.
live here. Warning, you might blow up.
Just a little bit though.
Yeah,
Not a
yeah,
But
lot.
don't worry.
Yeah.
It's only going to be in the next 250 years. So
After that, you're solid.
Yep. If you see a sinkhole, don't bother reporting it. They happen
and
all the
don't
time.
jump in.
We know.
And don't jump in. No, but if you jump in, you like find radioactive stuff, and then you find a car and a gun, and
It's true.
Yeah.
This is true.
That's how video games start.
yeah, that's how video games start. What an amazing game. Okay.
Okay, now this looks like it could belong in this category.
Yes.
My God.
Why are hospitals always the creepiest?
It's always mental hospitals.
Yes.
It's
Honestly,
Well,
I think
actually-
an abandoned normal hospital
That would be pretty
Yes.
would
creepy.
be super
But it's
creepy.
like it always seems like once it gets abandoned, they have like a rule where like the last nurse out has to arrange everything very creepily.
Oh, yeah,
If you
yeah,
could
yeah.
leave a wheelchair right in the middle of the hallway for no reason.
Just when you go through, look at stuff, and if you think, No.
Nah.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Spray some graffiti.
If you could put some stains down that could either be rust or blood, that'd be fantastic.
Bust out a few windows so when it gets windy, it gets all like creepy.
Yeah.
Make sure that you make sure that everything's as squeaky as possible.
So what you have like the creepy interior designer.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Okay,
It's an art project, guys.
I'm not gonna lie. That would be one hell of a job.
That would be.
How
They're
creepy
like,
can I make
okay,
this place?
we've got to close down this school, hospital, or old police precinct. We need to make it as creepy as possible. Who wants the job?
I see that as like a Netflix special.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Creeping it up or something. I don't know.
That's a good title, actually.
It's like
Yeah.
a different
It's on
version of
HGTV.
House Swappers.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Swappers.
This creepy place, is Belize Hillstatten Hospital, Germany. If this old German hospital looks disturbing, well, it is. Great.
Okay.
And we're done. Goodbye. 1898 and between 1898 and 1930, the Belize Hillstatten complex. You can always tell, like, which foreign language is more closely related to your own when certain words are not as much of a struggle for you as other languages.
Your head can
Yeah.
at least do
Yeah.
a faster way of going through as opposed to saying
Right.
it and going, oh, wait, that's these letters, not this
Exactly,
letter.
yeah. So a 50-minute drive south of Berlin served as a tuberculosis sanatorium.
Interesting.
It also housed mustard gas and machine gun victims during World War I, including a young soldier named Adolf Hitler, who had been wounded in the leg. The hospital later went on to be a major treatment center for Nazi soldiers during World War II, and it was used as a Soviet military hospital from 1945 until the fall of the Berlin Wall. Today, a few hospital wards are used as a neurological rehabilitation center, although the majority of the complex is abandoned. Wow.
Whatever you do, don't wander into the creepy haunted parts.
Yeah. Stay in the nice part.
Yeah.
You see the rusty door?
Don't go past that. Yeah,
Everything past
whatever
there,
you do.
horrifying.
Less tetanus.
Yeah. Plus tetanus.
It's true.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sick of giving people
it's because
tetanus
it's haunted? No, you just don't have all your shots.
Yes.
And we put nails down.
That too.
Jesus.
The surgery and psychiatric wards have both been left to decay and give way to nature and vandals, and the result looks like something straight out of American Horror Story. Definitely not an enjoyable day trip for the easily spooked.
Ooh, Dan, you want to go there on a day trip? You're very easily spooked.
I'm not sure about a day trip, but a night trip maybe.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, they didn't say anything bad
So you
about
go there,
night.
but not the Island of Dolls or
Yeah.
the Village
I'm
of
fine
Dolls.
with the haunted mental hospital.
You know
Okay,
what? When
sorry,
I
the
come
Village
back
of
from
Dolls-
the island and I'm all like freaking out,
Yeah.
just send me to this hospital
That's true, yeah.
on the wing that's still open.
Yeah. You're like standing in this decrepit, creepy, disgusting room. Like, are there any dolls? There's no dolls? Okay.
There's going to be one
You
doll.
actually
There's gonna be
walk
one doll.
into
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You walk into one of the rooms and you're like, oh my God, why is this so creepy? There's rust everyone. Oh, this is 114. I need 141. My bad.
I'm in the creepy part of the hospital. Oh.
Oh, that's what the C stands for.
This is the C wing.
It's the C wing.
Yeah, you just don't wander into the C wing. You're
The
fine.
creep wing.
Okay, this doesn't look creepy.
No, not
but I'm
really.
kind of wondering why. So,
I'm going to say it's probably sounds.
Gomantong
I can
Caves
see
in
that,
Sabah, Malaysia. The Gomantong Caves in Malaysia are geographical wonders with limestone walls reaching up to 300 feet in some spots, but visitors often leave the site describing it as one of the most disgusting wildlife experiences they've ever had. Not where I thought that was
Just
going.
animals
It's like
everywhere. It's just an animal orgy down there.
all the time. So it's that kind of sanctuary. First things
For an
first,
animal orgy.
Gomantong is home to more than 2 million bats.
Oh, it's
That's a bat
guano.
orgy.
Yes.
It's a bat.
Bat
Man,
orgy with
this-
guano.
This mud is really thick, which leads to impossibly thick layers of guano. Yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise
Yeah.
known as bat poop. I think
Oh.
we all saw Ace Ventura. We know what guano is. Covering the ground. And don't even think about slipping because the handrails are just as filthy as the floor.
Why would people visit this place then?
If you could make
Like,
it.
I love bats. This is going to be fine.
I'm trying to like find myself, and I saw that the Batman movie where he like had that experience with
They
bats.
flap around him.
What they never said in the movie was bats poop.
I had no idea.
This is one of those places I would see people going,
Uh,
it can't be that bad.
Right, yeah.
People are over exaggerating
Yeah, they're
or the
over-exaggerating.
double dog dare. And
So you had to walk through
Oh,
it
man.
without falling down.
Without
stick
falling-
your tongue to the side rail.
Walk through it without touching guano of any kind. If you can make it through the river of bat droppings, you'll then encounter several million Malaysian cockroaches scurrying around. Wherever the guano is, that's where the cockroaches will be. I think
I think it says read everywhere.
Finally, if you get past the bat smells and cockroaches crawling up your legs, there are several other wonderful creatures you just might happen upon, including snakes, scorpions, freshwater crabs, and the infamous giant Scutigera centipedes. Poisonous critters that are at least 3 inches long. This does sound like a truly terrifying
let's skip
place.
past the
All right,
centipedes.
so
Wow.
so that's actually just guano. All of that.
Yep.
You can see
That's their guano cave.
It's actually, this is really far away. They're like, I'm not going near that.
So I'm not
Yeah.
scared of like bats or cockroaches,
No,
anything like that. But I wouldn't go there.
In mass
Just 'cause,
proportions?
Yeah, that many is just friggin' disgusting.
I wouldn't go for
disgusting.
simply the centipedes. Everything else,
Really?
I cannot do centipedes.
Because it's all the legs that
It's
like
all the legs, and they
move.
look super creepy.
They
Yet
are pretty
somehow
creepy.
I'm okay with millipedes because they look less threatening. They look like really long roly-polies.
Huh.
Whereas
Okay.
centipedes look
Interesting.
like they would eat your face off.
Sure,
if they
So
yeah,
had-
the cockroaches, snakes,
No,
scorpions,
that
and
just
bats.
puts stuff on top. But the centipedes,
It sounds like all these creatures were like, nobody wants us anywhere. Where can we go?
they're like, I hear there's an orgy party in this cave.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind like bats pooping everywhere, like I'm a cockroach.
I mean,
that sounds
I
great.
like
Yeah,
it.
Like, I love free food.
Yeah.
yeah. I love free food.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm not going to
Okay.
that cave. Yeah.
No. Christ of the Abyss, San
That sounds like a great cuss.
Virtuoso.
Christ of the
Like I stubbed my toe and I'm like, Christ of the abyss.
Italy.
Let's try and
It's in
start
Italy.
saying it. I say try because that's quite the mouthful.
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
But once you nail it,
Once you nail Christ of the abyss. No, that sounded weird. Keep going, Gary.
Although there are several versions of the same Jesus statue scattered around the ocean floor, including Key Largo, pictured. The original version is located in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of San Frutuoso. The 8-foot-tall likeness was commissioned by Italian diver Duilio Marcanti in 1954. Marcanti wanted to place some sort of memorial at the exact spot where his friend Dario Gonzatti died while diving a few years prior, and thus Christ of the Abyss was born. The result is vaguely spooky, especially with the deity's outreached arms and upward gaze. The algae and corrosion only add to the effect. Although the statue was removed from its watery home in 2003 for some much-needed restoration, including replacing a hand that a rogue anchor had broken off. Regardless of whether you find the monument eerie or beautiful or both, it's certainly worth taking a 55-foot dive down to snap an underwater selfie with Jesus.
did they put it back?
They did. I think they
Okay,
did. They
good.
restored it and then put it back.
Okay.
So, hypothetically, if you did not know it was there, let's say, and you were just diving,
That would be pretty creepy.
that would be pretty creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, it would
like,
be
if you know
just-
it's there.
especially
Or
if, like, the
no one
waters-
claimed to build it.
Yeah.
Right.
And someone just
the
found
first
it?
diver just found the statue of Jesus.
Especially if it's like a really murky day
Yeah,
and you're
yeah, yeah,
swimming
yeah.
and stuff. There's just like...
And then he was under there and he was like,
fucking-
Curse of the Abyss! And they're like, that's a great
would be pretty
name.
creepy.
We should
Yeah.
call it that. Put it on a plaque.
Man, I'd rather be at that cave right now.
No, I never
man.
would.
I would much
Yeah.
prefer
I'd
being
rather
near
dive and like
Christ
look at a
of the Abyss.
statue.
Yeah.
Honestly, that doesn't really
It's
seem
not that
that
creepy.
creepy.
It's
No,
not
not
creepy.
really.
That
It's
seems
just
Like I said,
like
unless
a-
you didn't know it was there.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is,
and you stumbled upon
Right.
it.
Or it started moving.
right.
That
When
also
you go
is
to-
chasing you.
When you go to,
You go down there and he goes,
there are, especially when there are underwater statues in the Mediterranean everywhere.
Yes, yeah. it
They're
is.
all over the
It's
place.
not uncommon.
It's not
Yeah.
uncommon.
Yeah.
All right.
a lot of them were just someone made it and they're like, now I'm going to redo this. And they just
So
chucked it in.
I'm noticing a theme. Creepy places require tetanus shots.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys want to go on this abandoned, not Ferris wheel,
That's a Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel?
Ferris
Oh
wheel.
yeah,
Yeah,
Ferris
yeah, I
wheel.
was
What
gonna
am I
say.
thinking of?
Ferris
Merry-go-round.
No,
That's
is a
the
Ferris wheel.
horizontal
Yeah,
version.
yeah. This is the vertical
okay,
version.
okay,
This is the
okay,
vertical.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ferris wheel. Do you guys want to go on a creepy abandoned?
Unless someone
rusty
got a-
Ferris
Yes,
wheel?
I do.
Unless
but
someone
only
got a
if it
carousel and
squeaks
put it up.
really loudly while going. And then it
And
stops.
it
and
stops when you're at the top.
It's in Pripyat, Ukraine.
Yes.
Of course.
If there was ever a poster child for eerily abandoned places around the world, then it would have to be Pripyat. Established in 1970, the city had reached a population of nearly 50,000 by the time it was entirely evacuated after the Chernobyl disaster in 1986. Pripyat has remained an uninhabitable city since the evacuation, although the buildings, furniture, and all other signs of life are exactly where its former citizens left them. Weathered books can be found in classrooms. Decaying dolls lie abandoned in cribs. That's very creepy. And photographs are still in their original frames. The most famous landmark is the Pripyat Amusement Park's Ferris wheel, a skeletal reminder of what used to be. And now, following the airing of HBO's Chernobyl series, Ukraine's government has announced that the site will become an official tourist attraction. All right.
It's also the site of many levels in video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like mutated monsters and
Yeah,
stories.
always, yeah.
and-
Right.
That actually reminds me, I used to live in Ohio, and there was this lake. So every major body of water in Ohio is man-made.
Okay.
There's not a single natural lake
Okay.
in the entire state. And there was, what was it called? Fort Keys? No, not Fort Keys. Like
Fort
Keys Lake or something like that in Ohio.
Okay.
And it used to be a town.
Mm-hmm.
And they just filled the entire place with water. So you could actually dive down and like go
Find
around
this town.
Okay, that's
this
actually
town
kinda cool.
underwater.
That is
Yeah.
kind of yeah. Except for the sea monsters,
yeah.
or the lake monsters that'll kill you.
And the crest of the abyss.
Christ of the abyss! Did you see those monsters down there?
Ad needs to go away.
No, it's good.
I have a feeling that the reason why whenever there's a fire drill or a tornado drill or anything like that, I think the reason they say leave your stuff where it is and just leave is so that if you have to abandon the place,
It can be
leave
as
the
creepy
story.
as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I don't see some kid going, "Oh no, a fire! Let me put my book out. Okay, I'm running."
So the nuclear plant just melted down. We need to leave right now. But before we leave, can you make this place as creepy as possible?
It is literally creepy.
If you need help, I've hired a creepy interior designer.
Creepologist.
They've worked with hospitals and they've worked with, so if you could just consult them, you have about 10 minutes.
If you have any questions,
Yeah. If you have any dolls, leave them.
please.
We call him the interior
Yeah.
designer of the abyss.
If you have any photos, like family
just what it
photos,
is
could you just scratch out the eyes?
There you go.
Really
There you
helpful,
go.
actually. Yeah.
If you take any pictures and leave them out, make sure it's the one where the animals have the eye glare.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you don't, just take a quick snap. I got a
Yeah.
portable printer.
Before you leave, make sure you take tons of pictures
Yeah.
of glare.
And
if you have pets at home, if you could really quickly just make a blood sacrifice, that would be awesome.
leave your TV on, and don't forget to leave your TV on static.
Yes.
That'll help.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now get out because the plant just melted
Because
down.
we're about to all die.
Hanging Coffins, Sagada, Philippines. If you want to visit the dead in Sagada, you'll have to look up rather than 6 feet under. The people of this region are known for burying their dead in coffins attached to the sides of cliffs.
It's not really burying.
No. No.
They're
More of a
hanging.
hanging
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like what are you guys doing? Hanging the dead? No big deal.
Is that really a good idea? Like an aerial cross-section of your average cemetery, the tradition goes back thousands of years. Carve out your own coffin, die, and get hoisted up next to your ancestors. Many of the cliffside coffins are hundreds of years old and all look completely different, as they were especially made by the person who now rests inside of them.
Could you imagine if
Jeez.
one of them, the bottom just broke out?
I know, like let's say
They're like, do
hypothetically
you
I were
guys
to
hear
make.
something? They look up and a skeleton just falls on you.
Well, like let's say I'm not the most handy of people, right?
Okay.
And my coffin just has shoddy craftsmanship. So you're
I
like
mean,
hoisting me
right,
up, and
like-
it just splits.
I'd rather be cremated anyway, because
So then I don't come back as a zombie.
and your
Right.
urn gets hoisted up with your ashes in it.
What if I come back as like an ash zombie?
We should do an island of urns.
An
Just
island of
urns
urns.
hanging from trees.
No.
Nothing's in them because we just bought them for
Well,
the
yeah,
island.
yeah.
Well, no,
it's
we,
just
got,
mostly
we
for
put in
the-
like that
the effect.
Nesquik chocolate mix.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we gotta give it some substance.
Some of them
Or
have
we
bat
could-
guano we collected from that cave.
Yeah.
And one of them will have $1 million.
Wow. This is, yeah.
Make it a game. You get to pick, or you get to
Yeah.
open one urn.
It's like deal or
Upon
no
visit
deal,
to
except
the
it's called
island,
earn
yeah.
or no
Oh,
earn.
man.
We're gonna
Little
need,
do they
like-
know there's not $1 million.
We're gonna need like at least 1 million urns
Yeah.
just to really make it difficult.
I will
Oh,
say
man.
though that last one, to an outsider is creepy. I feel like
Yeah,
to the
but to a
people
tradition,
there, because it's a traditional thing, not a freak accident. Like, if it was something like,
Right.
hey, look, we buried the dead, and then half the mountain fell off, and now we've
Sure,
got all
yeah.
the
Which has
dead
happened.
embedded.
Which has happened. Yeah.
That would be a different situation,
Yeah.
but that one seems a lot more like from an outsider's
Sure,
perspective, because we
and
just
to me,
don't.
that's not even, honestly, that's not that creepy.
It
To
really
me, that's
isn't.
like a cemetery.
If it was
yeah.
bodies,
Yeah.
we'd be
That
in a
would
very
be-
different
That would be
situation.
creepy, yes.
Yes, that would be creepy.
But that's
Or
basically
glass
just, it's just an
coffins.
aerial cemetery.
yeah.
So it's no different to me. Yes, it's a tradition thing. So it's no different to me than just going to a cemetery and be like, oh, this is creepy. Why do you put all your dead people in one spot?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Only 6 feet below.
Yeah, that's
like,
not
only
even that
6
low.
feet.
Yeah.
They can get out of that.
Yeah, easily.
Let me show you.
All right.
to prove that
And then
it's
the all the
possible.
zombies rise.
I think this is the pit that you were talking about that's been on fire.
yeah.
The door to hell, Derwiz, Turkmenistan. While Jaws Whedon led us to believe that the entrance to hell could be found in Sunnydale, California, he was actually
It's actually in New Jersey.
I think it just is New Jersey.
I think they mean Hellmouth. It could be found in Sunnydale, California. It was actually some 7,500 miles off. Located in the middle of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan is the door to hell, a name locals gave to the 230-foot wide crater that simply won't stop burning. When Soviet scientists began searching for oil back in 1971, they accidentally hit a methane reserve, and the drilling platform collapsed, forming the crater and releasing dangerous gas into the air. The scientists decided to light the crater on fire to burn off the methane, creating a Dante-esque anomaly that has remained lit for the past 40-plus years. Can you imagine lighting on fire, like, it'll stop?
Guys, it'll go on in like 10 minutes.
There's one dude over here like, hold on. Our plan for dealing with the deadly gas that coming out of the ground is to ignite it?
Light it on fire.
Is
Get
that
this
what we're talking
man
about?
Light it on
erased.
Because let's
fire.
be honest, yes, it ended up like that, but I'm pretty sure that initial match probably was quite the explosion.
I'm
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
It's gas leaking up very high
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
air.
Guys, it's just methane. It's like
It's
the planet.
not a big
It's like the
deal.
planet farted. Just
Guys, I know what to do with this.
It was
And that
little
was
do
the
we
last
know.
time that man was ever seen.
It was some dude that was like, man, that's
I
pretty
think
rough.
that's
And lights a
probably the
match to
crater.
smoke a cigarette, and then it just ignites
just trying to
everything.
say
something cool.
yeah.
Walks away.
Yep.
Did you see that? Man, that's the original cool guy. 'Cause he didn't
That's
look
the
at that
original cool
explosion.
All right.
This is how I deal with
that's
horror.
creepy.
That's creepy.
I'll give it this one. This is creepy.
Yep.
That looks
Sure
like
is.
basement.
Capuchin Catacombs, Palermo, Italy. Of all the catacombs in the world, that's how a book should start. I met you here.
Why did she have to be buried in mine?
Of all the catacombs in the world, why did she have to walk into mine?
There you go. That's good. That's good. It's perfect.
It's actually a
from-
love story of like a Draugr and the Dragonborn.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with
Okay, I would actually watch that
Yeah,
movie,
but
a love story between a Draugr.
I watch that.
Oh,
It's a zombie
man.
love story.
And it's
There's a movie.
There
like
was,
that.
yeah. It's like Warm Bodies or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
From Salzburg to Paris. Oh, city of love. See, it's already.
And dead people.
None are quite as
I love
creepy
with
as
dead people.
Sicily's Catacomb de Cappuccini. Capuchin catacombs. Okay, sure. The macabre
cappuccino.
space. The macabre space was created back in the late 16th century when the cemetery at the Capuchin monastery became overrun. Religious men were originally intended to be the exclusive residents, but once word got out about the natural mummification process occurring in the space, how long can you... Okay, it soon became a status symbol for local citizens to earn a final resting spot there, and their best clothing, of course. As a
duh.
result, the underground tombs now contain around 8,000 bodies divided into separate corridors, including one for religious figures, one for professional men, one for children, and even one for virgins.
That's the biggest one of them all. They're like, sorry, it's filled, guys.
The corpses are displayed like a museum exhibit, dressed to the nines and arranged in grotesquely lifelike posts. Sound like fun, Dan?
Whose job was it to arrange them?
Doll girl. They're like, you're good with like not moving people like things. That's creepy.
I mean,
Cool, come on over.
I love the documentaries like Planet Earth and things like that show the beauty and sometimes, the horrifying realities of animals hunting animals. But But there are a lot of really creepy places in the world.
True. Yes.
Now I want a documentary under Earth.
Almost all man-made. Actually, I think everything on this list has been man-made. Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
Everything on this list is except that cave. The creepy cave.
And the glacier that bleeds.
That's true. The glacier that bleeds.
Yeah,
It's actually one dude up there. He's donating blood to the river.
Oh wait,
No?
is there an
Okay,
island
sorry.
of snakes?
Ooh, Snake Island.
Yeah, Snake Island, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Located about 90 miles off the coast of Sao Paulo, Ilha de Queimada Grande. Hey, also known as Snake Island, is one of the most dangerous islands in the entire world. I can imagine Snake Island is pretty dangerous. The site earned its moniker due to its insanely high density of golden
Spiders.
gold.
It's kind of like Greenland.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Oh, you went Spider Island? Okay, that's gonna be over there. Ton of snakes.
Tons of snakes on Spider Island.
That really messes with people. I'm sure that would be great.
Okay, you can continue.
No, I like it. That's good. Okay, we haven't laughed this hard to listen. In a long
Yeah, I
time.
love that the scary list is the most humorful.
Due to its insanely high density of golden lancehead vipers, some studies report an average of 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. When sea levels rose some 11,000 years ago and separated Snake Island from mainland Brazil, probably a good thing, the newly isolated snakes became hyper-evolved.
And started flying.
Jesus.
There's actually a flying snake.
No, I know. No, I mean the hyper evolved
and
part.
hyper terrifying to adapt to their changing environment. Without any ground level prey on the island, the snakes learned to hunt in the treetops and strike at birds from the air. And because they couldn't track down the birds and wait for the poison to kick in, their venom adapted to become 5 times stronger than that of their mainland counterparts, capable of killing their prey instantly, as well as melting human flesh because of their potency. The Brazilian government bans the public from ever setting foot on the island, as if you would want to.
Also, they've grown to be the size of elephants.
It was actually renamed a couple years ago to Flying Snake Island.
Little do we
Oh,
know.
God, they've evolved to get off the island.
Like pushing
I was
away.
going to say, like, they're colluding and they
They
stand.
formed into a boat. You just see this snake boat coming at
Jesus
you,
Christ.
and then oh my God, I'm scared
Christ to
myself.
the abyss. Burn that place to the ground.
So I can imagine. It's like cute Disney
They would become
animated.
fire resistant.
That's true.
Like,
Fire resistant flying snakes
Jesus.
with human flesh melting poison.
flying snakes just spitting, melting.
Good Lord. Nuke
It's
it
like,
from
oh, God.
orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Everyone get inside. The flying snakes are migrating. Don't get hit by the
man.
poison rain.
Oh, I
Jesus.
can just imagine this like animated film, and they come out to the edge of the island and they say, "Well, leader, what's next?" Whatever the leader's name is, Scar. I don't know.
Sure.
Like, what's next? Or Lancehead. Lancehead. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Just Lance.
What's next? The world. Like, we've evolved enough.
So they learn how to speak. That's
They learn how to
next.
speak, yeah.
Then they will start coordinating, and they all like rise up at the edge of the island and start spitting their venom over to the mainland.
So it's like Starship Troopers,
Yeah.
but it's from
Jesus.
Snake Island.
I feel like okay. There's an episode of Rick and Morty in the
man.
newest season where there's like this entire portion on a snake planet, and it's essentially Earth but with snakes, and it's
Okay.
just this entire like 15-minute portion of the episode where it's nothing but and it is quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen that has no words whatsoever, but it totally reminds me of
Snake
hyper-evolved
Yeah,
snakes.
seriously.
Hyper-evolved snakes.
Because it
They
turns
would-
into a Terminator situation where they
Oh,
start
yeah.
going through time and
They,
killing people.
I think they would dominate Guano Cave.
Oh, totally.
I
Yeah,
kind of
Right,
it's
right.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like Alien versus Predator. I want to pit all these creepy places
Sure, yeah,
against
yeah.
each other.
They would show up to,
Alright.
to Guano Cave, and it would
Yeah.
turn into Bat Corpse Cave.
Don't look up. Oh, that's where all the snakes are.
It's now Snake Cave. We got Snake Island over here.
just hanging above you. Oh my God. No, they need to burn that island down. That needs to be taken out.
Okay.
That's also
as
pretty
if human
creepy.
beings needed to. Yeah, that's creepy.
I'm actually cool with like the bones and stuff, not with the
The
cherub.
cherub is pretty creepy.
Yeah, I don't like
That's
that.
where they cross the
that's
line.
that's where they cross
really
the
weird to
line.
me.
Sedlec Ossuary, Kutna Hora, Czech Republic. I'm going to not use my dad joke right now. The incredible Sedlec Ossuary is a small chapel located beneath the cemetery Church of All Saints, known worldwide for its macabre decor. Back in the early 1300s, an abbot of the Sedlec monastery brought back holy soil from Jerusalem and scattered it across the church's cemetery, and suddenly everyone wanted to be buried in that sacred ground, but overpopulation kicked in, and the old bodies had to be dug up to make room for fresh corpses.
Sorry, dude, we got to rotate you out. Your term here's done.
In true waste not, want not fashion, the abbots decided to put the exhumed bones to good use. Instead of just burning them, a local Czech woodcarver named František Rint was given the daunting task of arranging the collection of more than 40,000 human remains in a visually impressive way.
Did anyone check these abbots for mental instabilities?
Seriously, like...
It's actually where they recruited. They went to the psychiatric hospital and they're like, "Who likes arranging skulls?"
Like I have this image of like a church meeting,
right?
And they're like, "So what are we supposed to do with all these other bones?" And
so our donations have gone up from last year. We'll be doing one extra music rehearsal every Sunday morning, and we need to arrange bones.
No, but it's like even one guy was just like, "Listen, I have a crazy idea. Hear me out." What if we used all of the corpses to decorate the church?
Yeah.
And nobody had an issue with it.
Actually, this dude, they were like, it's a really rare type of wood. And then afterwards, they're like, by the way,
they come up to the guy,
bones.
like, hey, so yeah, we need a wood carver. He's like, yeah, or no, they go to a wood carver.
He's like, no, you need a bone carver. That's next door.
Yes.
We already walked all the way over here. You're doing it.
Okay, so the bone structures... and he clearly delivered. The bone structures include 4 candelabras, a family crest, and several streamers of bones cascading down from the ceiling. Happy birthday.
I will say, though,
it's a boy.
It would be metal AF to have a family crest made out of the bones of your enemies.
Or of the family. It just keeps getting bigger, the crest, because they have to fit someone's femur in there.
Sure, yeah.
Come on, Grandma.
She's going to go any day now.
The most stunning...
It's so weird right now.
The most stunning display is probably the church's massive chandelier, which contains almost every bone found in the human body, plus some creepy cherubs for good measure.
See, that's what I'm not cool with. The creepy cherubs.
They're actually mummified babies.
That's fair. Be less creepy, honestly.
Actually, kind of would.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's Blur Mountain. I
almost would rather go to Blur Mountain than, yeah. Okay. Kawa Ijen volcano, Java, Indonesia. The Kawa Ijen volcano in Indonesia is equal parts terrifying and spectacular. The Java peak has abnormal amounts of sulfuric gases that reach temperatures of more than 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit and combust as they seep through the cracks and come into contact with the air. The gases sometimes condense into liquid sulfur, which then takes on an otherworldly shade of blue and flows down the volcano like lava. While the beautiful lights can only be seen in the dark, Kawa Ijen's sulfur burns at all hours. As a result, the surrounding air is filled with sulfur dioxide, and the adjacent crater lake has turned green from hydrochloric acid saturation.
I believe that got in the Guinness Book of World Records for largest fog machine. Mm-hmm. Little did you know.
Yeah. In the burning pit, the doorway to hell.
It's the biggest campfire.
I was going to say biggest fart.
No, that's the town where it's just really warm underneath. Yeah. There's just a hole, and you're like, sorry, that's my farting hole.
That's my farting hole.
Was I not allowed to do that? That's my bad, guys.
Disturbing as hell.
World?
Oh my God.
What in the world?
Please tell me these are live crabs that someone just glued.
And then released into the wild.
Okay. That's a crab butt. Is it?
He's a butthead.
No, that's the front.
Okay,
that's the front part.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there are the claws. Okay. Just wanted to verify.
Oh, no, it's a theme park. That's even creepier.
Okay, some people need better hobbies. I'm just saying. Ha Par Villa, Singapore. Ha Par Villa is a 82-year-old, theme park located in Singapore. And it's pretty much the polar opposite of Disneyland.
Horrifying place on earth.
Let's be honest. If they named it that, I could see it getting great.
That's true.
What, the polar opposite of Disneyland?
Oh yeah, because you get all those people
Angsty
that are
teens and like
exactly,
yeah.
and the people that continuously watch like horror shows or ghost hunting.
People who are like anti-corporate America.
Exactly.
Whatever.
I want to see a bunch of cherubs.
A bunch of cherubs and crabs with
Where's Cherub Island? Is that a thing?
that would be creepy too.
That would be very...
Its colorful entrance of Chinese arches seems innocuous enough, but then you actually step inside and see the Hopar Villa is covered with more than 1,000 statues, each stranger than the last. Yes, it gets stranger than a human head on a giant crab. The underworld-themed 10 Courts of Hell is the main feature.
There's the Disneyland attraction they've been missing. So we can either do Space Mountain, the Teacups, the 10 Courts of Hell, or Hall of Presidents.
They fired that guy and sent him to Singapore.
Jesus. I would probably go to
He's
the
like,
10
you know
Courts
what?
of Hell.
I'm going to make my own theme park.
Oh, man.
With the 10,000 black,
I'm actually tearing up from this
blackjack and
episode.
hookers.
Is the main feature of Hopar Villa intended as a way to teach young children about morality, because that's how you do it. You scare them. The dioramas portray 7 severe modes of punishment, accompanied by a placard explaining the sin that warranted such lashings. You'll find people getting cut in half by a giant saw, crime, misuse of books.
That's true.
Wow.
I did believe that when I went to the library, they're like, don't misuse that book. We'll cut you in half with a saw.
So if you have your late fees are generally $0.25 a day, and if there are any pages torn out, we will cut you in half with a saw. Strict rules at this library.
Did you put a coffee mug on that book?
Saw for that guy.
Yeah, we're taking footage.
I'm sorry, there's a line up.
Dismembered, crime, cheating on examinations.
Also true. Never cheat, or you will be dismembered.
Or thrown onto a hill of knives. Crime, lending money with exorbitant interest rates.
Nice. I'm going to have a talk with my banker. No?
Oh, my. Wow.
I honestly think
this...
the 10 Courts of Hell would be an awesome Disneyland attraction.
Actually, that
I'm
would
not
be
gonna lie.
kind of cool.
And they'll
It sounds
turn,
like a Disney movie.
Yeah. I think it's now called Pirates Island. It was like Huck Finn's Island.
Oh, I
in
see.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
That should be the creepy doll island now.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the newest heir to the Disney fortune is just incredibly insane. He starts changing stuff.
Or
He's really rebelling against the families.
Or Small World, the ride, which is already creepy enough.
That is true.
Is these places represented in Small
It's
World.
actually they're mummified children,
Right.
And their mouths move and still sing.
Kids who have died in the park. Sure,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And they make sure to get a recording of that kid singing.
And
it
what they do
before.
is they slow down the song and like lower the volume. It's a small world. That'd be creepy as hell.
with a little distortion.
Can you make the boat move faster, please?
It's on a rail. I can't.
I can't.
Why is this boat made of snakes?
They're giant lance head snakes.
Oh God!
Yeah, don't move. By the way, when you get into the boat, don't move.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do. If the snakes don't get you, the giant cockroaches will.
The
So,
exit is the Baguano one.
What's this river made of? Sorry, that's the Guano River.
Guano River. Yeah. Do you not like it? You don't like it, do you?
All right, we're going to have to change these rides back, I think.
You should go check out the new Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Yeah.
It's right next to the 9 Courts of Hell.
It's only 9 now?
10 Courts. Sorry, yeah.
All right, no
It's the
jokes.
discount one.
No jokes, guys. The Great Blue Hole, Belize.
It's fair.
Located about 60 miles off the coast of Belize, the Lighthouse
bruised.
Reef boasts beautiful coral
Pushing
and
too hard.
shallow turquoise waters. Oh, and a vertical drop that's more than 400 feet deep. Meet the Great Blue Hole, a 1,000-foot wide, perfectly circular sinkhole in the middle of the atoll. Divers flock to the site to witness the unique geology, which includes massive underwater stalactites and stalagmites that formed during the last glacial period. The limestone shelf surrounding the vertical cave sits about 40 feet below the surface, and it's a straight jump down into the unknown. The further down divers go, the clearer and more beautiful the rock formations supposedly become. To appreciate how fully bone-chilling this experience is, check out the viral video of world champion Guillaume Neri free diving straight down into the blue hole.
All right, I'm just going to say that one seems more like the person writing this has a fear of deep waters.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because that sounds actually kind of cool.
It does sound
I
very
personally wouldn't do it because
mean,
I would get creeped out.
Now, if they said, the buoyancy of the water changes and you will sink, that would be
there's
creepy.
something in there,
Yeah,
there's some sort of creepy fish, or
there's tentacles that just reach
there's
out.
just
once in
a
while.
face.
Yeah.
There's flying snakes.
Yep.
Flying
snakes.
underwater snakes.
Flying
Not
underwater
swimming.
snakes.
No, they're not swimming. They are flying underwater.
Oh.
But
All
that
right.
would make it a creepy or scary thing. But that honestly, based on the picture, it looked beautiful.
Yeah,
That looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this one, what is that? Okay.
Blue Thread Island.
Another one,
Oh,
Japan.
it's Suicide Forest.
Aokigahara Forest, Yamanashi Prefecture, Japan. This seemingly serene forest at the bottom of Mount Fuji. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Has an extremely tormented history. Colloquially known as Suicide Forest, Aokigahara is the world's second most popular site for suicides after the Golden Gate Bridge. Really?
No, actually,
Now
now that I think about it, most of the times you see people almost jumping off a bridge in movies, it is usually the Golden Gate.
I had no idea. In 2010 alone, 247 people attempted to take their own lives here, and 54 of them were successful. Oof. Some blame this phenomena on the forest association with demons in Japanese mythology. Others point towards the density of the trees, which muffles sound and makes it extremely easy to get lost. Many hikers even mark their path with tape or string to make it easier to find their way back out again. This, combined with the sprinkle of clothing and letters throughout the labyrinthine woods, gives Aokigahara a terrifying Blair Witch meets Palace of Konosov vibe that will chill you to your bones.
Yeah, that one's very creepy.
Looks like we've got Yoga Island.
Yoga?
I feel like actually that
Island.
forest is the inspiration to a lot of those horror stories of a witch in the woods or a demon in the woods is tricking people to walk out in there every full moon or something like that. I could see that being the origination of it, and then eventually it just kind of became what it is.
I do think, in my opinion, I think something changes in a space where something terrible happens. Mm-hmm. There's something, I don't know what it is, but things change.
Yeah.
And I think when you compound that with more terrible things, a place can just become this kind of spiritually oppressive or emotionally oppressive space. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's probably what's happened there. Mm-hmm. All right. So we got Yoga Statue Forest.
Oh, it's not an island?
Veo,
I want everything to be on an island now.
my finish is not great. Veo Ronkonen Sculpture Garden, Parekala, Finland. Veo Ronkonen was one of the most famous contemporary folk artists in Finland during his lifetime, but he was also a recluse, refusing to showcase his pieces in public spaces.
Yeah, because they were creepy.
Probably shouldn't. Yeah. Instead, he built his collection of nearly 500 concrete figures in his backyard, forming his own personal sculpture garden in the process. The biggest display on the ground is a group of around 200 statues arranged in a variety of yoga poses. So it is yoga. While there's something obviously unsettling about the sculptures, supposedly all self-portraits, they are now... Do you really need another statue of yourself? Yes.
He's like, I had one with my left arm up. Now I need it with my right arm up.
All my
I got
statues
warrior pose. I got
all my
downward dog
statues
over here.
are based on the most beautiful model I could find, myself.
Myself.
However, I've never seen a mirror, so I'm just assuming this is what I look like.
This is how I am.
They are nowhere close to being the most sinister items in the garden. Ron Conan's collection features an array of creepy individual statues, from a nun lurking behind bushes to a cloaked man with long, outstretched arms.
Are they still self-portraits?
I don't know.
He put on a nun joust.
Took a selfie, made a sculpture.
The malevolent grins, accessorized with real human teeth. This got really creepy.
Okay, that just got creepy.
This guy's a murderer.
And black, sunken eyes of these figures are exactly what the doctor ordered, provided you have a desire to never sleep peacefully again.
Yep, this guy's definitely murdered people.
Yeah.
Or he just goes into the town and he's like, hey, does anyone not need their teeth anymore? He's the original Tooth Fairy.
The horrifying version.
Is there anywhere on this list you really want to go?
The Deep Blue Hole.
I would like to go to Snake Island to burn it to the ground
Burn it to the ground.
before they rise up against us.
But how could you get
as
to
a
it?
whole.
Because they would fly to your boat before you got to
true.
the
That's
island.
I would love to see this would be a great scene in like a movie.
Okay, I'm with
So
you.
this guy's really concerned. You are really, really concerned
You're
about
in this
Snake
movie.
Island. You're
Sure.
you're frightened by
They're
Snake
going to
Island.
rise up against
You need to
us.
nuke it.
I'm
You need
just
to do
saying.
something. You're talking to a scientist.
Sure.
Gonna nuke
An
the
evolutionary
island.
you're
Nuke the island.
Oh my
the
God!
island.
Please tell me that we're not going to mutate them.
Oh
no,
my
no,
God.
No. You're talking to an evolutionary biologist.
No,
This
super
is the
flying
scene in the
things.
movie.
Okay.
And you're saying you're worried about Snake Island.
Yeah.
And so he says, "Don't worry. Evolution takes millions of years, sometimes maybe 100,000 years." And you're having this conversation, and you say, "Does it?" And there's a flying snake in the sky.
It's like, you know what?
It
I'll
spits
believe
acid on a scientist's face.
the scientist like, there's a bunch of snakes. You know what? I'll believe it when snakes fly. Oh my God!
And then they're like, what is that black cloud coming off of Snake Island?
Then the phone calls keep coming in, like London has fallen.
The snake uprising has begun.
And it's what was that Matthew McConaughey movie with the dragons?
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire.
Yeah.
It's Rain of Poison.
It would be Rain of Poison. Yeah.
I feel
Starring
like
Matthew McConaughey.
you know.
I'd watch that.
What if the origin of the Deep Blue Hole was
I'm with you.
another Snake Island that they were
That
trying
they
to
had
get
to
rid
sink.
of?
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they were
Yeah.
like, we're going to sink it. And then it never stopped sinking.
Because of all the acid and the poison and stuff.
And, yeah.
But they survived.
Yeah, but the snakes.
You've simply
never
released
released
them.
They mutated to be underwater.
Those
flying
stalactites,
snakes.
oh, they're snakes. They're waiting.
Oh man.
Just you wait.
Oh man. Yeah.
This
That's
is a great
terrifying.
episode.
What was the creepiest place for you? I don't know. I think for me, like the creepiest place, the place I
This should
probably
be renamed to
would-
creepiest places.
creepiest
for the
places,
record, not
yeah.
scariest.
would probably be the hospital.
Well, that's just, yeah.
It's just
I-
genuinely creepy.
I wouldn't, just for the sake of, it's such a common creepy place.
I know.
That I feel like
good
of
reason.
these places being like a unique, should belong that specific one,
Yeah.
definitely Snake Island.
Sure.
Flying snakes that will
You
melt
had
your
like a
flesh.
visceral reaction to Snake Island.
Yeah.
Actually, no, the
because I don't want them
centipede
to
portion of bat
evolve and
caves.
fly to kill us. Am I the only one who sees an issue with this?
Well, they do. Sorry, they do basically
far
say in the
away.
article like they have quickly evolved.
That's what I'm saying. They
Like-
now snatch birds out of the sky.
Next thing you know, they're
and
going to be
poison-
mounting the birds.
Yes, soon they'll be riding them.
Well, you got to wonder, like, what's the process there? It's like, well, we've killed everything on the ground. I'm gonna go after that bird. You guys wait.
What happens when they run out of birds?
That's what I'm saying.
They start swimming. Then
That's
it's
what
Their
Snake Lake.
poison melts human flesh now. If we don't see an issue with this,
Oh, man.
then
Send
you've
them-
never seen aliens.
Also,
Send them
I
to
feel
the
really
burning
bad
pit.
for that first person that had
that
to
had to
experience
find it out.
that.
Yeah, Jesus.
And the
Christ.
movie like revolves around us like channeling them finally at the end into the burning pit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the methane pit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's always on fire.
And then they've evolved to be fire resistant. And now we've created dragons.
Actually, it's actually a completely different plot. It's actually a snake charmer that learns of Snake Island, and he's like, "Finally, my dream has come true." And he goes there and he
And no one
starts
hears
taking
from
the
him again.
snakes musicals, and he start playing. They're flying.
it's like the Disney version. Like,
exactly.
it's like the Disney Channel version.
This one they're not
they
evil.
start
Snake
singing
Island. Yeah.
because they evolved that much.
man.
They're singing
Evolved
Snake
vocal
Island.
cords.
Snake Island should be at the new Disneyland, along with what was it, the 10 Courts of Hell?
10 Courts of Hell.
Oh man,
I'm just saying.
And
one day we're-
Jesus of the Abyss,
One day
or
we're
Christ of the Abyss.
Christ of the Abyss.
One day we're gonna go to Snake Island
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
with the purpose of destroying them.
With
With a
with an
flamethrower.
armored suit,
Sorry,
and a
with
flamethrower.
not a flamethrower.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
We'll
do
take
that,
Elon
and
with
then
us.
the snakes will crawl out of the destruction, rise up, and be like, "You cannot defeat us!" Oh no! They've evolved how to speak.
Is this the origin story of the villain
And
from
then you-
G.I. Joe?
And then you hear your boat start up behind you.
Oh,
No!
Oh,
Their tails
Lord.
are now keys.
He's like getting the hell out of there. I mean, I wouldn't blame him. That makes perfect sense to me.
It's like, why is a snake leaving Snake Island? It's like, I might be a snake, but I don't want to live on Snake Island.
But the snakes have like formed a snake man.
So it's like the Matrix
Yeah,
when the
kinda.
machines like
Yeah,
talk.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh man.
I'm just saying we need to destroy this place before they evolve further.
You know, Guano Cave sounds not too terrible
Honestly,
compared
I would
to
say
Snake
Excluding the
Yeah.
also snake, cockroach, and centipede portion.
Island. You can even say centipede.
hate
And
it
scorpions.
so
Don't
much.
forget the scorpions.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And the scorpions.
Oh,
You
man.
Scorpion riding snakes. It's a scorpion
I'm
with
actually-
a snake tail.
I'm going to start my
Actually,
own
that's like a manticore.
Kickstarter for destroying Snake Island. So if you
There's
too
a petition.
Go fund
If
me.
you
Nuke
go
Snake
fund-
Island.
Nuke Snake Island.
realize the dangers of hyper-evolving snakes, please donate so we can put a stop to them.
Oh,
It's-
wow.
And after that, Mars. We're nuking Mars.
I'm just picturing this with
Snake
like the
Island
Sarah
has become a new
McLachlan.
priority.
It's become a top priority.
I'm just picturing this commercial with the Sarah McLachlan says, "In the arms of an angel."
We need to
If
nuke
you want to
Snake-
get rid of Snake Island, if you're scared
Yes.
of venom, flesh melting venom, and
If you ch-
flying snakes,
There we go. If you
donate.
truly love these puppies,
You do not want them melted by this
and then,
flying
and then we have
snake.
like a video of them being eaten by the snake. Artist rendering.
artist rendering. Oh man.
Yeah, no puppies were harmed during the making of this commercial.
Yeah. If there are more creepy places on the planet Earth that you would like to tell us about, please leave that in a comment below. Again, this is Dan.
AKA Dan T Producer on Twitter and Instagram, and Dan T Streamer on Twitch.
Yes, we're sending him to Guano Cave. No. Oh yeah, because they have centipedes. This is Andy.
You can find me at Fry. I'm the Andy on Instagram.
Yep.
Where it's dedicated to the destruction of Snake Island.
Yep. And I am Gary. You can find me on Twitter at Film Circuit and Instagram at Northward Films. This has been the creepiest. We're going to call it the
It's the
creepiest.
creepiest.
20 of the creepiest places on the earth. I'm sure there are more.
there's definitely
plenty
more,
more.
yeah.
We'll find
Very
some
creepy
horror
places.
ones for next time.
Yeah.
Because I
So-
won't lie, I was a little prepped for scary stuff,
Yeah.
and now I feel let down.
Next week, we'll do the most haunted places. Yes. Thank you.